You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin
Herbert on the move and throws and touchdown.
Come on, Herbert.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Huggin, Duggin.
Hey, Wolldog. Hey, Coach.
Hey, Kyle, the Coach Duggin.
Haven't been introduced yet. I'm not allowed to talk.
No, I'm trying to disarm you guys. Sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Yeah,
Consider yourself disarmed.
I am without a weapon. Welcome back, everybody, to the Charger Chat. Folks, another great episode lined up here for you. There's been lots going on behind the scenes, OTAs. There's been some interviews, some surprising interviews, I should say, some unexpected faces. But before we get into any of that, we need to look to some of our own fellow fans. The Die-Hard Bolt Club, Inland Empire specifically, hosted an awesome event. They got Asante Samuel Jr. To meet up with fans to sign some autographs. Our boy Justin Sabercool, a former fan-focused interview, sent us a picture of him meeting Asante Samuel Jr. And boy, I saw other pictures and videos. You know, you saw Jen, you saw
Jen
everybody.
was there. I was like, man, I wish I could have been there. That looks so awesome.
Yeah,
That's sick.
That's
cool of him to go out of his way to go do that.
Big time. You don't,
Especially as a rookie.
Yeah, I can't recall a previous event like this with other rookies in the past of just like, hey, let's just go to a meet and greet like prior to even having a regular season game. Like,
right.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty awesome.
Already
It's
awesome.
Our fan base, man, they're killing it. People are we're getting organized. You got to watch out because we're getting organized.
We are getting organized. Absolutely. And speaking of getting organized, folks, Charger Chat, you guys have been asking for some very specific items, some specific accoutrements, if you will. And we are not one to disappoint, folks. Just be ready. There is some exciting
some things coming down the pipe. They're coming. The stuff's coming.
It's I'm getting all hot just thinking about it. It's going to be exciting, folks. We'll have an announcement here in the not too distant future, so be ready. Charger Chat, something.
So mysterious.
No one has any idea what we're talking about.
What could we possibly be talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So keep
people
an eye out.
listening. People listening to a podcast still have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
They're not
Wink.
watching your not so subtle movements.
And for those of you just listening, we're winking right now.
And pointing to their clothing and hats.
Tugging on all of my things. All right. Okay, enough about Charger Chat.
Enough tugging.
Enough tugging on things. Time to look over to the mini camp. We've seen a lot of players out there in mini camp. We started seeing other faces: Austin Eckler, Joey Bosa, all the big names showing up to train with some of the rookies. And the Chargers had perfect attendance at practice. Perfect, folks. All 82 rostered players were present and accounted for, including edge rusher Joey Bosa. I just said that was the only Charger not to attend at least one day of OTAs.
It was kind of cool to see like the offensive line together now. Like,
oh yeah,
that was cool to see Filer next to Lindsley, next to Slater, next to it just Abushi, and then Bulaga. It's like, wow, this is our wall.
That is
welcome to the wall.
That is a big awesome wall, folks. And then head coach Brandon Staley came to compromise with his players earlier this spring. They agreed to full-speed individual drills, but no competitive one-on-ones or competitive team drills. This was primarily in the interest of player safety.
Kyle, can you break that down for us? Like, why specifically would this help the players?
Well, you just get banged up when those little one-on-ones. So if you're like a pass rusher versus an offensive lineman, when you're doing full-speed one-on-one, you get real competitive. People get tweaks. DBs and receivers trying to go one-on-one, run full speed, making big cuts. You can just get little tiny tweaks that are unnecessary this early in the season. But even so, we saw Keenan Allen breaking some ankles with half speed routes, which was pretty fun.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He did this one where he was like doing like a cone drill or something. He did like this like foot stutter step thing where it literally looked like he was changing. It was the craziest kind of like mid-air thing, and then took off. Like you can't cover him. It's just not possible.
It's just not possible.
Not gonna happen.
And then, as mentioned, we saw some surprising faces at minicamp. Drew Brees made a guest appearance at minicamp. He got to spend some time with Justin, and this was his impression.
Justin, I've actually been really impressed with him. I can't say I've spent a ton of time with him, off the field. Obviously, we played against each other last year. I saw him one other time this offseason, and then we actually had a chance to just sit in the QB room for a little bit. But there's no doubt, I think his physical tools are as good as anybody I've ever seen. By all accounts, he's a great worker. He's got great leadership qualities. He's got a lot of intangibles. So I think the sky's the limit for a guy like him. I love the fact that he's in this offense now with Joe Lombardi. Joe Lombardi comes from the New Orleans Saints, was my quarterback coach for almost all 15 years there. So I think he brings a ton of knowledge and experience, not only coaching quarterbacks, but also within the system that we ran. And I think he'll be able to tailor make that for Justin's skills and obviously the tools and weapons that he has around him.
Excellent.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
Oh.
Give me a break. Drew Brees likes our quarterback.
Man, we alluded to it a couple weeks ago. The Drew Brees potential to join the Chargers again. It's got to be there.
I think he's an unofficial official member of the coaching staff. If he's there, like working with Lombardi and talking with Justin, an unofficial official, and he knew this system better than anyone.
Well, that's what we don't know that though. We don't know that Lombardi's running the same system they ran in New Orleans. Hopefully, he's not. He was supposed to come in and build an offense around what Justin. Drew Brees does not throw a long ball. That's just bottom line.
Then you're adding to the system.
Right.
You're not going to create a new system.
I don't
what
think
I'm saying is that.
What do you mean? That's what they said they were going to do.
Tailor versus create are very different. Have you ever gotten a suit tailored? You're keeping the suit the same. You're just bringing it in or taking it out.
I think you're
bringing it in or taking it out.
You're the one that made the word Tailor up. I heard a coach say we're going to make an offense around Justin Herbert.
We're going to tailor the offense to Justin Herbert.
Shut up. I'm looking up. I'm looking for a quote from a coach that says tailoring.
All right, so we're gonna lose Kyle for this episode. He's gonna be looking on the internet just to prove me wrong.
Later, guys.
Yep.
Peace.
Yeah, I think that's been the talk all along, is implementing the Shanahan system, and also implementing some of the Sean Payton system as well.
Yeah,
but again, not like constricting. I think that's what we've heard from all these players, is like none of what they're implementing is constricting. If anything, it's opening up the possibilities of like, oh, hey, why don't we try this or try that? So just because Drew Brees didn't necessarily throw long balls doesn't mean that they're not going to let Herbert not throw long balls.
My point is that he's going to be a great resource. That's all my point is. He's going to be a great resource to help him, whether it's his offense or not.
Sound like you're backtracking.
I'm helping you. You can
join
the
backtracking
podcast.
off of this tailored comment.
I'm trying to help you out. If you want to quit being a little bitch about it, we can continue to talk.
You're backtracking.
I'm not. I'm trying to help you out. It was said, tailor, not create, different things. So I'm just excited, and the fact that he might, they might have something. He might be an unofficial official coach of the Chargers. I'm running with that rumor until I'm proven otherwise.
I mean, if you've got Lombardi as your offensive coordinator, why not have Drew Brees there too? If anything, just give some tips on helping Herbert be as
get to the Hall of Fame
and successful with, and to do that as well.
How do I get to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
let me show you.
Roadmap. Can you
hold my
write
hand?
Down some
hold
directions?
my hand.
It does.
Let me take you with me.
It speaks to Drew Brees' inability to get off the football field. Like he cannot stay away from it. There's nothing in it for him to go to Chargers minicamp.
Yeah,
he just can't stay away from the game of football. So I would not be surprised if there was a last, like somebody gets hurt, Drew Brees comes back. I wouldn't
backup quarterback.
That would be.
He's not been away from the game. He just played last season at a high level. I'm not saying just for the Chargers. I'm saying league wide. if there's an injury, the guy can't stay away from the game.
Right. Well, it's just nice to see him come to the Chargers and
100%.
And spend time with Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert has been building that relationship with Drew. If anything, that's really more of the connection. Like, you can make the connection to Lombardi, but it's really the connection to Herbert that is the reason why I think he came out, because Justin Herbert even said he's a guy that I'm going to reach out to continuously. So again, like, Herbert's been making friends, as we talked about one of our previous episodes, been making friends with some guys that might not make the team. Might as well make a friend with like a future Hall of Fame quarterback. That might be a bit more of a good work relationship to build upon.
You know the old saying, you become who you hang around with.
Yeah.
You don't want to be hanging out with the guys getting cut. Go hang out with the Hall of Famer.
Amen.
Surround yourself with the right people,
Kyle.
Justin.
So that was just awesome. And then they also talked to Jared Cook, who talked about Justin. Jared Cook said he's a smart quarterback. He's doing a good job of getting the offense down. I've seen some quarterbacks his age in this offense that just don't get it, and they never get it. What I see from him is that the corrections that he's making aren't big ones, but the little ones that he makes, he picks up on them fast. He changes it. It's not a repetitive correction thing, which is what you see out of a lot of young guys. No matter what position in the league, there are those mistakes that you make that you have to get rid of. And I don't see any of that from him. He's been on it, man.
This goes back to what I was talking about the previous thing when you were telling me I was wrong. Is that he's talking about the system that they're playing in, which is what Jared Cook just came from, and what he's talking about him being able to pick up. So, Mike Joe.
Or Jared Cook already picked up the new one that they created for our
Shut up,
players.
Kyle. You're reaching now.
He's a
This
vet.
is too. You're
Vets
reaching.
know football. You don't have to just know one offense. Jared Cook played for more than the Saints. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, it's awesome to hear veterans on the team speak so highly of Justin.
Who got owned? Reply in the comments. I want to hear who got owned. Who's team Huggin? Who's team coach? I want to hear it.
All right.
Throw your hand up.
You heard it here, folks. Go down to the comments to show your allegiance. But then also looking at other veterans having stuff to say about Justin, Keenan Allen on the Rich Eisen show had this to say. The perfect word you could have used, unicorn. So I guess Rich Eisen referred to him as a unicorn, and Keenan Allen said that's perfect. Savage, man. I can't wait to see him grow. I knew he was special. The Kansas City game first drive. I don't think I had ever caught a pass from Justin going into that game.
That's crazy.
Let alone hear him talk in the huddle. It's the confidence and composure that he came in the game with, and being able to rally and score on that first drive was special. Holy
That's crazy.
Shit. Yeah.
They had no intention of using him that last year. Zero.
To the point that they never
He
even
never threw a ball.
never even threw. Not
how
just
many balls
practice,
are thrown
hey.
during camp?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Crazy.
Why not throw one or two to Keenan Allen? Spread it around, man.
It just shows what he did was so incredible. He didn't have any rapport with any of the top guys in the offense. He had to learn it on the fly, and he almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs with basically guys meeting out on the, out in the front yard playing, drawing stuff out. He just hadn't played with them. They don't know the timing. They haven't worked any of that out. So that's even more impressive.
Right. And also, and we're shamelessly positive here on the Charger Chat podcast, but I can't help but say it. It also speaks to the coaching deficiencies. To be in that situation where you are so reliant on this one quarterback to do well that you're not even going to give the backup quarterback a few shots, a few chances to throw the ball to some of the other wide receivers and try to build at least a little bit of rapport with these guys.
You can look at it that way, or they had no offseason. They had minimal reps to begin with, and they're trying to win football games. So the majority of the time,
to throw a ball to Keenan Allen,
majority of the time, backups, that's the case.
Kyle.
Backups do not.
Where are you? You're there. You ready? You caught it. That's how quick and easy that was.
Shit away. Keenan didn't stay after to catch balls. It's just he was not the guy. That's just bottom line. You're a backup in the NFL. You're a backup in the NFL. Do you think Chase Daniel's going to be out there catching balls, throwing balls to Keenan? No,
maybe one or two, man. One or two. That's all I'm saying. I mean, to not catch one pass from one of the other quarterbacks, just again.
It's a cool story. But
it's a great story, but I'm just saying that's just one of the things that jumped out to me. It speaks to Justin more than anything else on how well he played in that game. And then there were also some surprising Justin Herbert stats. I mean, we've heard a lot of Justin Herbert stats that have always like blown our minds. You know, all the records that he broke last year to be the offensive rookie of the year. Some more stats are still coming out.
And this came from our stats guy who's coming up on one of our Bolt
Are
Insights.
these real?
Yep.
It's straight from our stats guy's mouth, whose name we will not release, but he's our stats guy. Last season, Herbert had twice as many completion of 50-plus air yards as Drew Brees did in his entire career.
So Drew Brees only completed 2 passes over 50 yards.
Maybe there's a whole bunch of 49s or 45s, but
of air yards. I mean,
over 50 yards.
He threw some passes that were over 50 yards, but that was all made up on the ground. So as far as over 50 plus air yards,
bombs.
That's crazy.
Justin Herbert threw 4, which was twice as many as Drew Brees had in his entire career.
See, that's why they had to build a whole new offense.
Exactly. they
Shut up. Calling it just a bomb
they didn't Tailor
offense.
shit, all right? It's brand new.
We haven't seen anything yet. It's
brand new.
If it's Tailor or brand new.
No.
I'm an off the shelf kind of guy. I don't Tailor shit.
So to add to that, in fact, Herbert has more completed passes over 50 plus air yards than those notable quarterbacks have had in their entire careers. Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Patrick Mahomes. Is it Jared Allen? Brian Allen? Bob Allen? Who's Allen?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Bob Allen.
Bob Allen. Who's Bob Allen?
Tony Romo, Eli Manning, Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson.
In one season.
And not even just one season. A rookie season is when he made this happen.
He's throwing bombs, dude. This is a crazy stat. I'm glad he dug this up and went through it because that's insane.
That is pretty wild. A repeat of his 2020 season would move him to 4th in 50-plus yard completions since 2000, tied with Tom Brady. Herbert's EPA when throwing 50-plus yards ranked 1st in 2020, but was more than 2nd through 4th, which includes Kyler Murray, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes combined. And then lastly, Herbert didn't just have the most EPA on 50-plus yard throws in 2020. His 2020 campaign ranks 1st in the entire 21st century. Jesus.
Wow.
Jesus. Like
cheese and rice.
So obviously, yeah, Justin Herbert is the man on throwing these big, deep bombs. Will defenses make adjustments to be ready for that this next upcoming season, or will we tailor this offense to make him continue to be just as successful as he was in his offensive rookie year? Time will tell. Moving on, because I can see Coach is just about ready to. His face is redder than I've ever seen it. Let's look over to an
interview. You guys are putting me into a corner here by teaming up.
Coach's corner is coming up. Hold on.
I'm trying to get out of it. There was a surprising interview. All through OTAs and mini camps, they've been interviewing players afterwards, asking them, just regular questions here and there. One that popped up, Drew Tranquil. Was interviewed, and it caught a lot of us by surprise, but maybe not some of you guys. Bradley, Cover 3 oppositionists. He spoke about previous year's defense and matchups, how they were created, and he mentioned a very specific play where he had to cover Tyreek Hill. Let's listen to see what that was all about.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in the last defense, I just remember a play at Kansas City towards the end of my rookie year, and I was running with Tyreek Hill straight down the middle of the field. Not an ideal matchup. I like to think I can compete against anybody. He's a little bit faster than I am. So we're gonna put our players in position to win in their matchups. And so I think you'll see us a little bit more at the second level and letting those back guys kind of handle those vertical routes.
Shots fired.
Whoa.
Kyle, what's your take on this?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any specific coaching take on this. It's just, he fired a shot. He didn't like the matchups that were created, Tyreek Hill running with Drew Tranquil, that's ridiculous. Like, there's no way. And they showed the clip, and I mean, didn't do a terrible job. He was right there on his hip, but he simply cannot run with him. So that was just a bad play call, bad matchup. That should never be allowed. This should always be a switch no matter what. If you're in man-to-man and Tyreek Hill lines up in the slot, or even as the number 3 receiver, you can't have your linebacker running with him.
So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it just feels like the way that we were at least attempting to adapt was not an ideal situation.
It just sounds like a cookie cutter thing where the last defense was like, this is what we're doing, whether we like it or not. This is what we're going to play. We're not going to try and make any more matchups. So it sounds like he's excited about what they're going to do in the new defense, and then stuff like that won't happen anymore. So that's promising.
When you hear about like Kenneth Murray being able to play downhill, you don't think your responsibility is not running down the field with Tyreek Hill. Like,
yeah,
you just have less responsibilities and more concise, do what you're good at type of things, which is obviously better than putting Drew Tranquil running with Tyreek Hill. Obviously.
I mean, and I don't know the answer to this, so this might be a stupid, dumb question that we'll cut out, but how much of that do you attribute to not having Derwin James? Like, do you think the attributing factor, or do you think that there were other players on the team that could have kept up a little bit better with Tyreek Hill?
Any defensive back would have kept up better than Drew Tranquil.
Yeah, he's the linebacker.
He's just a linebacker. Those aren't his skill sets. He's 250 pounds running with the 190-pound fastest guy in the league. Like, any defensive back would have had a better opportunity to play man-to-man coverage than Drew Tranquil.
Gotcha.
So that was just the bottom line. They did not prepare to see whatever formation that they were in. They did not have a check for it. So Drew just had to put on his big boy pants and hope for the best.
It apparently didn't work out too well.
Which is never good in the NFL. No.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. That's all of the news right now. So now that means it's time to look on over to Coach's Corner.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
All comes down to today.
You take this helmet and you put it right in his numbers, okay? I want to see nothing but snot bubbles in his nose.
A lot of people want to blame coaches for a lot of things.
Nobody puts coaches
trade up,
in his
and
corner.
we shut them down because we can.
It's because I believed in you.
And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style.
Let's do it.
All right, folks, time for Coach's Corner, and we reached into the bag of questions, and there were 3 of you that basically asked the same question. So shout out to Robert Davids and Mason Besser. You guys asked a great question. I'm going to let Funeral Flash Mob, one of my favorites, ask the question because he made a great voice request, so it goes something like this. We have seen Joey Bosa excel at getting to the QB and stopping the run as a 4-3 edge player. What we haven't seen much is him dropping back into coverage because Gus's scheme didn't require him to. Although we will spend a lot of time in sub-packages, Staley's 3-4 will probably involve Joey dropping back into coverage more often than he has in his tenure with the Chargers. Is there any tape out there, perhaps from OSU, that will give us a hint about how good he is dropping back into coverage? If not, what skills and attributes make a 3-4 end good in coverage? Bolt up! K, love you, bye. Hooah!
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 Al Pacino. I didn't know we had Al Pacino on the show. That was crazy.
He was waiting in the wings. Hooah! Okay. Yeah, this was interesting. There was a couple in those post-OTA minicamp interviews of Joey talking about playing in coverage or dropping back into coverage, which is something we are not used to seeing Joey Bosa do at all. We're used to seeing him come up, take the quarterback down, and, scream like a madman. So what do we have to expect from something like this?
Yeah, so I think that this is just an opportunity to do 2 things. But before I get into the specifics, I think it is interesting to hear, right before this, we were talking about Drew Tranquil's interview, of how guys are going to do more of what they're good at, in essence, right? Like, we want to make sure our matchups are as good as they can be. And now we're going into Joey Bosa dropping into pass coverage.
Not his best attribute.
So, no, like, he is a world-class pass rusher, right? So it's an interesting thought to hear, okay, Staley, you're going to want to put these guys in the best position, but then you're going to make Joey Bosa drop out into coverage. So there's 2 points that I think speak to like why you do something like this. The one, and this is kind of silly, but I do think that there's some validity to it, is you make football fun. You look at what they did last year with Jalen Ramsey on the Rams. He was so excited about a new position that he was going to get to go play in the slot. He was going to get to have more of an impact on the game. He was going to get to play different positions. It's fun. These guys are the best in the world at what they do. Growing up, they probably played every position under the sun and never came off the field. So it does, to a certain extent, I think, spark some of that. This is fun. Like, I get to do something else. I get to see if I have the ability to do it. These guys love to play football. So to give them opportunities to do it in different ways, I think is a really fun thing. Now, that being said, he's not going to do it a lot. It's a here and there, pop him in, confuse the offense type of thing. So Joey normally requires some kind of a double team, right? He's that good of a pass rusher that if you just leave him one-on-one with most tackles in the league, they're going to get beat. So from an offensive perspective, when you go through and design your pass protection for the week, you're going to have Joey Bosa know where he is before every pass. So he's usually always going to get some kind of a tight end chip. You're going to slide your protection to him, or your running back is going to immediately go find him and help the tackle in case he gets beat. There's something that you're going to specifically design that week when you play the Chargers to stop Joey Bosa's pass rush. Now, let's say you do all that work. You're making sure everything is going towards stopping him on the pass rush, and he drops out into pass coverage, right? It just throws off everything that you had prepared for from a protection standpoint. And now you're left with two guys looking for a guy that's not even coming, which should open up a hole for whoever else you're bringing in place of Joey. So it adds a little bit of element from a pass protection that they have to prepare for, which should hopefully limit the double teams that he gets. Even if we do it a couple times a game, the offense has to be aware, hey, I'm not going to waste and blow up two big plays because we tried to double a guy that was dropping out into pass coverage. The other thing it does is the quarterback too has to be aware, right? It's just another thing for those guys to think about. Pre-snap, you have to go through so many different reads. Like we've looked at in some of the stuff we do in coaches' classroom, looking at the safeties, where they're lined up, what techniques are the corners playing, what personnel package do they have? Do we like this personnel package? Do we want to go no huddle if we complete it inbound? There's so many things that are going on. Do I need to check to the second play? Do I need an audible? Do I need a hot route, one of my receivers? Whatever it might be, there's a million things going on. And now on top of that, you're adding, was Joey going to drop or come? So it just adds another element of something to think about. It's not something that I think we're going to see a lot, but it does add a little fun wrinkle that we didn't have before. The things that require an outside linebacker to be good in pass coverage, you're like Drew talked about, Joey's not going to be running down the field with Tyreek Hill. He's not going to be running down the field with the tight. He's probably not even going to be running down the field with the tight end. He's going to be sitting in a soft little zone where he has to drop 5 yards off the ball and just read the quarterback's eyes. So it's not a huge responsibility from that standpoint, but it does require really good open field tackling. To tackle in the open field is a hard thing. You put Joey Bosa or a big guy like that in open field with the running back, it's not easy. You have to be able to close ground really fast and have good technique. So I think that'll be one of the bigger struggles for him. He's a good open field tackler, but that's usually on a quarterback. It's a different ball game when they're trying to flex out a running back or that slot wide receiver on a little bubble, and if for whatever reason he's out there, it's going to be tough. So open field tackling, I think, will be the thing they have to work on most. Other than that, it's just getting a feel for it, repping it out enough so he's comfortable with dropping into his coverage, getting his eyes back to the quarterback, and kind of getting a feel for what's going to happen.
My question for that is in off season enough time to implement something new, that new kind of a wrinkle like that?
Yeah, this is not a huge wrinkle.
Okay.
I don't think it'll take that much time. We already saw him doing it in minicamp.
And Coach
and he was only there for a couple days.
He's like 9-7,
right?
9-7.
That's right. Yeah.
So they're already working it in. He's already going to start thinking about it. He'll probably go do some of his own stuff now, working on footwork stuff. And he's had the playbook for a while, I'm sure. So he knew that was coming. I especially with a guy like Joey, I think there's enough time for him to be able to pick that up.
And on that note, too, Coach Staley said that they already have 90% of the defensive playbook installed. So he said the last 10% are wrinkles per matchup. So sounds like they've done all the X's and O's, all the, just mental work. So they're ready to go.
I love it. Just one more thing to be excited about, folks. One more thing to be excited about. Well, thank you, Coach, for explaining that type of wrinkle, no matter how big or small. Coach is here for the wrinkles. All right. Well, now it's time to move on over to one of our own favorite segments. It's Fan Focus. Here we go.
All right, guys, we're here with another Fan Focus, and we are lucky to have Kevin from Oceanside. What is going on, my man?
What's up, dude?
Thanks for coming on. We're pumped to have you. So let's get into it, man. How did you become a Charger fan?
Oh, man, born into it, dude. You know, born in San Diego, lived here in Oceanside pretty much my whole life in the shadow of Junior Seau. So just like the stories of you and your brother, the trips to Qualcomm, all that stuff growing up. Of course, was 8 years old at watching our boys at Three Rivers. That ball swatted down the end zone, sent us to the Super Bowl. You know, remember a Super Bowl party as a kid, like, oh, this is going to happen every year. This is great. And now, of course, 28 years later, we're still waiting, you know.
I know.
But growing up, yeah, man, just going to Charger games, not so much in high school, you know, the Ryan Leaf era and all that. But then, of course, 2003, 2004, Brees and LT just, of course, jumped back into it. And that's when I really started hitting it hard, learning the game and understanding stuff like that. So now, you know, being in San Diego, it's kind of hard. They had the move and everything, but it's okay to hate teams, still be a Charger fan. It's all right.
Of course. The thing is about the team. It's not about the ownership. Like, we're Chargers, man. We're Charger fans. So let's get into it. I want to get your opinion on this offseason. Like, what are your thoughts on, you know, what's been your favorite thing that's happened so far?
Just everything. Bye Anthony Lynn for one. I mean, dude, like, just they had to go get the great quarterback, which, of course, you know, I think week 2 last year, him not going for it on 4th down, of course, I think that set the whole season backwards. I think the momentum we could have swung right there. Besides that, he started making all these bad choices for us this season, going for it, not going for it.
Yeah.
But number one was Corey Linsley, man. My book, that's the number one move was, I don't care who we cut, what we have to do. It sucks seeing Casey go, but you know what? As soon as that, like, 3rd day of free agency, I think it was, that morning when he got signed, my brother was blowing me up like, oh my God, it happened. You were right. And then the draft, of course, you know, I can't believe we got Slater. I can't believe we got Samuel, just like everyone else. Even when Slater was sitting there, it's like, are we really going to take him? Is it going to be Darisaw? There was still that doubt. I don't know why, but the minute that they took him, I think that was like a signal change with the coaching staff for everyone. Like, this is going to be a different team.
Yeah, it feels different this year, man. I don't know what it is. Like, there's this, like,
it's a purge, dude. It was a purge of all that old talent, man. I mean, 4/5 of the offensive line, all these guys that didn't work out. I mean, it was sad to see some of them go, especially like Denzel and stuff, but it was time to refresh it. And I think that's what the coaches are looking at now. There's a lot of guys kind of on that hot seat, kind of, you know, that it's time for them to step up. But the last regime, they weren't used. They're playing like limited snaps 20% of the time. It's just not right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be interesting to see, like, the kind of the diamonds in the rough that we have. We know these names. They've been on our team for a few years, but, like, who is going to be put in the right place? Who is going to be given that opportunity to excel at what they're good at? So that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah, not like all the time coming in, but even when they have to sub in and replace guys that are tired, we know that we're going to have guys that are coming to make an impact. Guys that we haven't heard their name because they've been buried 3rd on the depth chart for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, for sure. It's an exciting time, man, and we're getting closer. Like, I think we just went under 100 days till kickoff, so it's like,
and it's even less than that, dude. Till training camp, till preseason. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay, that first game is going to be cool, but I mean, it's less than that until we get to actually see our guys. And it's, you know, COVID is hopefully over. We'll get to go to training camp this year, so that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement. It's gonna be rad. So, random question. I kind of want that we're starting to throw out some new questions for these fan focuses. So, like, if you could meet one Charger player, past or present, who would it be?
Shoot, by golly gosh darn it, I think it'd have to be Phil.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be Phil, right? I mean, is there any other way? Like, I just can't think of another Charger. I mean, he's the reason why, even after the move, I'm still a fan. The fact that with his solidarity, was like, nah, I'm driving up. I'll bear that traffic every day. That to me was like, all right, Phil can do it. You know? Yeah. So it'd probably have to definitely be Phil.
It's hard for, like, the fan base that, like, the last 10, 15 years that have been diehard Charger fans. Like, I don't think it gets much cooler than Phil Rivers. Like, he was like the guy. Like, he was always the guy.
The guy, yeah, you know. And in San Diego, especially, we didn't have that many, you know, icons. You know what I mean? Junior, rest in peace. Tony Gwynn, rest in peace. You know, we don't have that many. We have LT and we have Phillip. You know.
Yeah.
Suck to see him move out of San Diego hereafter, but I get it. He's coaching now in Bama, so he's got things to do.
Exactly. He's gonna take that. I'm sure that the high school team's gonna be killing it. It's gonna be crazy. Well, cool, man. So wanted to see, you know, are you going to any games this year? Like what are your plans for the season?
This year's going to be tough. July 1st, we're going to welcome a new Charger fan into the world. My firstborn son, Hunter Matthews, is going to be born. So getting to a game is going to be a little tough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. Sick. Yeah, we came up with the name before the treachery, so you know what I mean. But
it's a good name. It's a strong name. It's a powerful.
It's a strong, solid name. Solid.
Yeah, I feel you, dude. That's awesome. Well, but dude, then you get to like have sweet, like get him a jersey, get him set up in his own gear. Like that's gonna be rad. And do some home games.
That is gonna be rad. Oh man, he's gonna be parked in front of the TV. I'm gonna be teaching him right now. Okay, so you see when that slot defender goes across, that's man coverage. Where are we going with the ball, Hunter?
I love it, dude. I love it. Well, congrats on fatherhood, becoming a father soon, and that's amazing, man. I'm pumped for you.
Yeah, man, me too. So it's gonna be hard to get to a game here, especially the first half of the season. So it'll probably, I'm hopefully moving into a bigger spot. So this season's probably about having people over at my house, one screen for the Chargers, another screen for all my other derelict Eagle and Steeler and Raider fans. Shout out, guys. I love you.
Put them on like the really, really small TV. Get like an absurdly small, like 12-inch. You just put it in the corner.
They're like 13.25-inch Vizio. Stick it in the corner.
Exactly. Like you can come over, but you all got to huddle around it. That's what's going to happen for you. But thanks for coming on, Kev. It was great meeting you, brother. And yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep in contact.
For sure, man. You guys won't be here last me. I'll keep up the comedy on the comments. No problem.
Please do.
Thanks, man.
All right, bro.
All right, Kevin, let's go, buddy. Not Kevin Kernick, not you, Kevin. You always go.
Well, I wanted to thank Kevin for coming on. Great name, by the way. But he mentioned that he had something awesome coming up, and he just had his baby like the day before Father's Day. So
happy Father's Day.
Congrats, Kevin. He had a little baby boy. His name's Hunter.
Nice.
He welcomed him to the world on the 17th, which is a good number if you're a Charger fan.
And we got another Charger fan in the world. We're
just
growing.
Saying, we got to spread these bold
Kevin's
babies
doing
out.
his part by just procreating Charger fans. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Kevin. Do it, man. We appreciate you, man, and it was such an awesome time talking to you. And yeah, we'll definitely keep chatting.
Big time. Thank you again, Kevin. We really appreciate it.
An awesome name, by the way.
And yeah, apparently you have a
Sorry, I
great
gotta say it again. It's really, really choice.
God.
Choice.
You didn't pick your name anyways.
Your parents picked a choice name.
All right. Now let's get out of this choice name focus and let's move on over to the one, the only, the Craig Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh.
Craig Experience.
Hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Yeah, even on vacay, it's Bolt Day every day. CC gang, what up? To the rest of the Bolt fam, was goody? It's your guy Craig in Texas, coming to you from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, in a beautiful cabin in the woods. Haven't seen any bears yet, and I would love to keep it that way because it's not really my bag. And I like wildlife, but usually on a TV or a movie screen, not in person. So, welcome to another edition of the Craig Experience. And yeah, we have finished up mini camp, which was fun. Got some good clips as far as interviews are concerned, some video from the guys out at practice, getting acclimated to the new scheme offensively and defensively. And looked pretty good. And it was also nice to see a little blast from the past. Good old Drew Brees out there kicking it around with Jay Herbo and the rest of the coaching staff and getting up close and personal. And we can see that there's absolutely a relationship there between the old school and new. All we were missing is good old Philly Riv, man. If he can get out there in that threesome forms, that would be like a godly trifecta. I would love to see it, and hopefully Phil finds himself a part of the loop, but who knows? I'll take what I can get at this point. So what I really want to kind of get into today is a little bit about some of the interviews that took place that caught my attention, a couple of the pressers, namely two, Drew Tranquil and Kenneth Murray. And boy, those dudes were being very diplomatic in their description of the scheme that they had become accustomed to over the past few years. Gus Bradley, I try not to speak the name because every time I do, feel like I have a nervous tick coming on that I have to learn to control. But putting that in the rear view, man, those two dudes were trying to keep their best poker face when talking about what it was like playing in that scheme. And Kenneth Murray kind of made no bones about it. He was never really comfortable. And I mean, for what he was able to pull off there in the back half of the season, really coming on, showing himself to be a real tackling machine, but not really ever the attacking style defender that he was in college, which is what he's supposed to be. And that Gus Bradley defense didn't allow him to be that guy. So he was playing on his heels instead of downhill. And, hopefully now, well, from what we see and what we're hearing, that won't be the case. Brandon Staley seems like he has a real plan for K9, and I can't wait to see him have at it. And I feel like we're going to see a completely different player in year 2. And Drew Tranquill coming off of, his huge injury last year that ended his season in game 1. Same thing. Dude really seemed like he had to bite nearly a hole in his tongue to stop from saying anything really negative in regards to how he felt about that defense. I mean, when he discussed a play where he had to run up the field with Tyreek Hill, kind of said it all. It was written all over his face. He was none too happy about it, nor did he seem to understand the logic behind it. Glad to see he wasn't the only one. I'm sorry, we weren't the only ones, because I think everyone was a little baffled by some of that stuff that we saw. But, it's good to see that the guys that they're talking to really all seem to appreciate this new defensive scheme. It seems like the offense is also going to be humming. We talked a little bit about that last week. But defensively, man, I am super excited to see how this plays out. I mean, this team, for all intents and purposes, has more overall talent than the Rams had. I know everyone likes to look at Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald and think, hey, well, anyone should be able to make that defense work. But no, that's 2 superstar players, and it's a unit. It's 11 guys. Everyone has to, be basically on the same accord. And we saw some guys that really excelled in that defense that no one really knew about. So if you take that scheme and that continuity coupled with this defense and, some more talented players, some more well-known guys who've proven themselves a little bit more in the league, man, it's going to be dynamite. And I can't wait to see it up close and personal, live at a few games myself personally, where I hope to meet some of you guys. But, no real question this week. Just kind of wanted to put that out there. Guys, talk to me a little bit. I mean, if you have anything in regards to what you think, if you haven't touched on it already, about some of those presses that we saw this week and how it seems like a couple of the guys were doing their best to not really express how joyful they're going to be in regards to the scheme changes and trying to do their best not to just take a complete and utter crap on Gus Bradley. But I would have not been mad at that at all. If they wanted to kind of tag someone in, I would be willing to sub in and give my personal opinion. Hell, I'm not on the team. Throw me in a presser. I'll tell you everything you want to know about how I feel about Gus Bradley. If they want to toss me some of their notes, I'll be sure to go ahead and include those. But I could talk about that for a couple hours. You don't have to pay me. It's free. I'll definitely volunteer that time. Well, trying to be a better person about it. Whatever, though. Anyway, again, out here in the woods, going to go enjoy the rest of it. In the meantime, per usual, as always, and forever will be, Bolt Ganger don't bang. Okay, love you, bye-bye.
Oh, Craig. Are you on vacation all the time? I'm so
Actually on vacation, Craig.
Dude, you're in Michael Myers territory on every vacation. You're always in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, you keep talking about not wanting to see bears. Don't go to the woods. Don't go to the bears. You're going right to their backyard, Craig.
I love it. But yeah, man, there's good points. We talked about it earlier. We're on the same page. It's like their optimism. There's even optimism in them talking shit about the former coach. Like they're optimistically shit talking.
Yeah, that's why they have the freedom to say it now. It's because they're like, oh God, this new life, this new way. And neither of them know any different. Kenneth Murray and Drew Tranquill both came into the league under that scheme.
Right.
So to then be like, wow, yeah, maybe the NFL is can adjust and has like complex schemes and we're professionals and we can pick it up.
Right.
Because like for me as a high school coach, for me, it was always keep it as simple as you can so these guys don't get confused. But their full-time job, they're not the best in the world, and that's not their full-time job. These guys need to be able to pick up stuff. If they can't, they need to go. They can't play in the NFL. So like, it's cool to hear them like have some freedom to be like, yep, this is going to be better. And it's fun as a fan to hear that.
Yeah, it's
shamelessly optimistic. I love it.
It's that feeling of like, oh, we could have been doing this all along. Like, why weren't we doing this? You had the playbook of all the good plays right here. Why didn't you use these? Like, that is kind of what it feels like. But I think it speaks to the staff that we have now and how well they are utilizing the players. Like, that's what it always felt like. You draft people like Tailoring and other players, and you're just like, why they don't do anything? Like, are we not using them? Are they not playing well? Like, who's to blame? And the more these types of interviews comes out, it feels like, oh, we just weren't using these guys to their full potential or correctly or whatever the situation might be.
Which makes Derwin James that much more exciting this year, because even he was able to jump out in our base cover 3. He was still jumped out.
Right.
Yeah.
So now with him doing like more, it's gonna be fun, man. I cannot wait.
I'm so pumped.
We just keep getting these little tastes of what is yet to be.
It's just like, what is today's date? Why is this taking so long?
Yeah, we've got our first preseason game is August 14th, so we're still a little more than 2 months away, but we're getting closer, folks. We're getting closer. It's going to be exciting. So excellent. Thank you, Craig, for popping in, even on vacation.
Thanks, buddy.
You're a total stud. We appreciate you. And now it's time to go on over to Ask Boltfam. And we start this one off with FNU VP.
This is new.
This is
brand new. Stands for
not you, vice person.
Yep.
I don't know.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
All right. So he's got a request here. I feel like this needs some like musical background, but I don't play the piano, so you're just gonna have to imagine it in your mind, folks. Here we go. First things first, what's the spaghetti policy here? Okay. Attention, PFF, chefs, Docky, eye patch mans. I got a little ditty about the Chargers. I'm gonna sing it. Now we are ready to fight and stand up for what we know. I don't need your trophies or your gold. I just want to tell you all, go f*** yourselves. There you go.
Oh, my God.
Oh, whoa.
If anybody wants to throw some piano on that, you are more than welcome to. I was probably amazingly out of key, but that was fun.
Good, dude. That was so fun. Good. And you had a bag. You had a proper bag. The request was the Huff Glue bag.
Right. Like, I bought a breakfast burrito this morning, so
and in case you don't know, that's Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Always Sunny.
Wow, dude. Not only do you bring the A game, you got Wooly to sing. And that was your first question. Put a star on that.
Oh, I forgot.
Put a star on that guy.
There was one more. I forgot to spit. So there you go. Thank you, FNU VP. Appreciate it.
You rule.
And there was no question, but we agree.
Well, completely agree.
It was more of a comment than anything else, but we welcome those here too at Ask Boltfam.
Yes,
100%.
Especially when you can get Adam to sing.
Please, I'm gonna sing it. All right, let's move on now to one of our other old favorites, Okie Doggy.
Oh, there he is.
Who asked the question? After hearing the talk of the formation of the Bachelor Squad, or BS for short, I have to ask you guys about the kicking situation. But before we dive into this, let me remind you that this is the first time in 5 years that we have actually had someone that is qualified in special teams and not someone who got the coordinator job by being friends with the head coach even though he never had any experience there, so maybe he can work some magic into our kicking. Now that that's out of the way, let's just sit back and relax because it's time for you to meet today's eligible bachelors for your Los Angeles Chargers. Bachelor number 1 is as of now the incumbent for the starting job and who is best friends with our starting QB, who happens to be a bachelor himself, but that is for another time. He comes in with a 80% field goal percentage. When he is not kicking balls short or missing to the right, he is out on the golf field and conducting interviews with fellow Chargers. He is well loved by many teammates, but is on very thin ice now with us fans for what happened in New Orleans and in Las Vegas. Please welcome Michael Badgley. Bachelor number 2 was the first kicker brought in to challenge for the job after the season was over. Not much is known about this man, but he has bounced around the NFL, boasting a 100% field goal percentage for 3 out of 3 field goals, with the longest being from 47. Swinton scouted him extensively, and he has had help from former Chargers kicker Nick Novak, who we all remember dearly for urinating into a cup. Hopefully this man didn't drink any cups that Novak gave him or were near him, but who knows? Maybe that's what gets him the job. Give it up for Tristan Vizcaino. Last, but certainly not least, Bachelor number 3 is the most recent addition to the competition by way of Pitt. He comes in with a career 72.6 field goal percentage, but he also brings with him the record for the highest field goal percentage from 50-plus yards in the NCAA with 66.7. His leg has already had Chargers fans all around swooning and dreaming of field goal conversions and touchbacks. Make some noise for Daddy Longleg himself, Alex Kessman. So my question to you guys is, who is the best and who will win for your Los Angeles Chargers? Is it Bachelor number 1, Bachelor number 2, or Bachelor number 3? And before you answer, this production wouldn't have been possible without the tears of Vikings fans insisting that the wrong Justin won, the salt of Dolphins fans claiming their QB is better than both QBs from the Chargers and Bengals, and the regular f*** you to the Donkeys who always want to trade for a QB because they can't draft a good one.
Okie Doggy went all in this week.
Holy shit.
That was so good.
Okie Doggy. My goodness. You always write a novel of a script, but
oh, dude,
I love it, dude.
I saw this on the outline. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. And then you did the voice.
Is he gonna do it?
You did the full voice. Like, dude, that you need to do that for a living, like full time, that voice and like selling shit. Like sign me up.
Okay.
Somebody, if you can hire him to do this, do it, please. For the love of God, that was amazing.
That was
really good.
That was fun. Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think
I was gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Good work, Okie Doggy. Proud of you, man.
I think the Melvin Gordon salty tear seasoning was also a sponsor of that, but
yes.
Oh, that was a throwback.
That was a good, throwback. That's for the diehard listeners out there.
We haven't talked shit about Melvin Gordon in a while. Yeah, like
that was OG's. That was last year. Good OG comment. I love it. I'll jump off. I think all I know from everything you've said and everything that I'm thinking, there could be 2 kickers. One of them is probably not going to be Badgley. One of those 2 guys is going to get the nod. One, because he's, as he said, our special teams guy, Swinton, did the research, wanted to bring him in. Usually when that happens, he's doing it for a reason, and there's probably a chance that original kicker is not going to be there because he has to look outside and find somebody else to bring him in. So the most confident thing I feel right now is that Badgley's not going to be our guy next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they already gave him that contract. Like they gave him that little extension.
I know, a little extension, but how guaranteed is it guaranteed?
No, well, my point is they're not that confident that he's gone.
Right.
If they knew like we're moving on, they wouldn't have even offered him that little, hey, let's have some security and keep him on just in case.
Right.
But I do agree with all your points. It just leads to the confusion of why did they give him that little contract? They gave him another year, which was just bizarre in my opinion. But so it's either Daddy Longleg, great nickname by the way.
Daddy Longleg. I'm going with the Volcano.
Yeah, I think Vizcaino. I want a guy that doesn't miss. If you could hit a 50+ yarder, perfect. But don't miss a 35 yarder. Like that's what I care about. Those short ones just don't miss.
Yeah.
Which Badgley has not proven that he can do that consistently enough.
Right.
So just anything under 45, if you're 100%. You can miss. You could be 50% from the deep ones. Those are just Hail Marys into the half, hope for the best type of situation. So obviously, I want a guy that can do both, but I would rather have the guy that's consistent, that doesn't miss the gimmies, which is what we have not had recently.
Big time. Yeah, I would vote for Bachelor number 2 as well, Tristan Volcano. But if it ends up being Alex Daddy Longlegs Kessman, I wouldn't be opposed to that either. I would assume that they've made their decision carefully and succinctly. So excellent. Thank you, Okie Dokie, for bringing it hot and heavy this week. We appreciate it.
That was so good, man. That's crazy.
This is great. Next, we move on now to Senior Snappy, who asked the question. Ever been curious how some marriages survive for decades? A great example is John and Virginia Madden, 62 years together. But, Wikipedia says she started taking flying lessons. John Madden became an NFL head coach at only 32, never had a losing season. Even now, he has the power to destroy the hottest player in the NFL each year with his curse, like the Lightning and Mario Kart. So why can't Staley do just as well?
I guess Madden, he has cursed a lot of people. It's true.
He has with the video game, absolutely. And those that haven't seen, this last Madden cover is Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, so I curse both of them.
So fingers crossed.
I curse at you.
I curse at you. Yeah, there's no reason why Staley shouldn't have a non-losing season.
Like I said, I have nothing but hopes that we now have a head coach that can be our head coach for a very foreseeable future, not foreseeable future, for a very long future. Extensive. We can't see.
Yes,
I can't even see the future with Staley. That's what my hope is, because I want a coach that's going to be our coach for not just 4 years and then an added year and then you get fired. Like I don't want any more of that. I want consistency, and we're being so shamelessly positive because there's nothing to be negative about. There's nothing to be negative about yet. So let's just keep rolling until there's something that bums us out. So at this point, let's go.
Let's go.
At this point, he's got 50 years as the Chargers head coach, in our opinion.
I want post-mortem coaching as well. I want his head to be in a jar, floating around with a headset on, calling plays. That's all I want, okay?
Oh, my God.
Staley for life. He hasn't played a single game. Staley for life. That's all
hasn't coached or won a single game. We're all in till the death.
I'm pushing my chips in. Here it is.
We're sick, boys. We are sick.
I'm not going to lie. There's that 2-minute video where he goes in and talks about he's mic'd up for that practice. I've watched that 6 or 7 times.
So good.
I watch it before I go to bed, and I'm just
so cute, Kevin.
Shut up. I know I am.
I mean, what is your take on that, Coach? Like, when I watch that, I hear a guy that doesn't say he doesn't stutter. Everything he says with intent. And is that something that you see often?
I'm not gonna lie. There was. Some of it was kind of cringy for me, and I don't know why.
You don't want to activate every morning?
there was just some things that were just like, oh, that's just like cringy. Sounds kind of McVay-y, which is not bad. Obviously, he's a great coach too.
Right.
But I'm just being honest. I was kind of cringy listening. Maybe it's because I'm a coach and I've said those things and look back and be like, why did I say that?
Is that what I looked like when I said that?
Sounds so dumb. I don't know. It was just kind of cringy. I was still excited, and it sounds like all the players still are too, but I was a little bit cringed.
Okay, fair enough.
I am so insulted with that.
I'm sorry. I can't control the way
Kyle
that I
is
feel.
the shamelessly, and Kevin and I are the positive. So together we are shamelessly positive. Excellent. All right. Well, let's move on now to Daniel Llewellyn, who asked the question. Which coach not named Brandon Staley do you expect to be the most successful this coming year? Shampoo is better. No conditioner is better. Stop looking at me, Swan. My prediction is Darius Swinton or Mrs. Lippy. Also, the Suckriots. There you go.
There you go.
The Suckriots. I like that.
That's a new one. Suckriots.
I don't know. Like that. I don't know. It's the hardest part about coaching. You don't know what.
I don't know. Who I want is Dan Campbell, because that guy's a psychopath. I want to see.
Are we talking Chargers coaches only?
Let's look at Chargers coaches. I don't give a shit
about
that.
Darius Swinton is his prediction.
Specific question?
Well, he's predicting Darius Swinton, who is our
so he's implying that it's
our
a Charger
coordinator coach.
Right. So which one of our coaches does the best job this year? I think if we go based on what everyone looks at as production to make a good coach, is going to be Shane Day, our quarterback coach, because apparently just whoever's coaching Justin Herbert is now going to be an OC and a head coach, and running the commissioner of the league. So
I'm not surprised if Shane Day came here because of that. I would not be surprised if this is his jump to offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
it is. It's the springboard for him to try to get to bigger and better things for sure. But as you don't know what's going on, like you don't know what a coach is actually doing, what the players are making up for him. Sounds like we thought Gus Bradley none of us were really super hyped on him, but sounds like he was doing even worse than we thought, according to the players. So it's like we just don't know everything that's going on. It's like you could have a great position group, a coach is kind of just there, or you have a mediocre position group with a great coach and they do okay, but not outstanding. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard. I think it's hard within a team to pick out a specific position coach is going to do the best. I'm just hoping they all do equally great.
I think I like Swinton because like he can do okay and it'll be better than what we had last year.
Yeah.
So the bar is so low on special teams. He has the best opportunity to explode and make all of us fans happy.
Big time.
Yeah. And I guess he did say most successful. So which one would be most successful? I'm still going to stick with my Shane Day pick because Justin Herbert's going to go off.
MVP.
I think my hope will be Lombardi. I'm hoping that he ends up being the guy that is the most successful. I think if when you have Brandon Staley as your head coach and Ronaldo Hill, you've got two very defensive-minded coaches. I think the expectation is the defense is going to be great. So I think the question is the offense and how well they're going to do. So I'm hoping that Lombardi is the most successful of the coaches, because Darius Swinton, you can't go further down. You can only go up from where you were. So I think that's going to be a gimme. But great question. Thank you, Daniel, for asking it. We move on now to Zach Marincic, who asked the question, who is the most overrated and underrated player on the Chargers roster right now?
I would say underrated. I think league wide, if you're looking at it, it's easy to say Keenan Allen, but I think specifically Mike Davis, I think is underrated in how good he can be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do next year and how he steps up now that Casey Hayward's gone and he's kind of the man. So I'm very much looking forward to Davis.
Yeah, I think everyone would say Keenan Allen's the most underrated. I think he's top 5 wide receiver in the league. And that's crazy to think because people still put him in that top 15 range, but it's not that's a big difference. I think he is underrated for what he does. I don't really know a player that's getting a lot of hype that doesn't deserve it. Like we just don't get talked about that much. There's nobody that's like, this guy's overrated. I don't know. I can't think of a single guy that's like, he's not that good.
The only person rated right now, there's 2 people. It's like 3 people, Derwin, Joey, and Justin. And I'm not going to say a bad fucking word about any of those guys.
Overrated. So. The only argument you could make is that Derwin has done it for 1 season.
So he might be, that makes sense, but I don't like it.
But I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that he's overrated. I can understand somebody saying that he's overrated, but I wouldn't say that either. You could argue Tillery, maybe, because he was a first-round draft pick and he just hasn't been that great. But
he's not. People aren't hyped on him. That's
exactly.
That's the thing. Exactly. People aren't hyped. You got to be hyped on this person
to be overrated.
Yeah. There's no hype for him right now. I hope he gets hype. But not right now.
Yeah. There's nobody that's getting hype that doesn't deserve the hype surrounding them. I would say underrated. I would say Drew Tranquil, honestly. I feel like he was another one that we only got to see 1 season worth of production. We didn't get to see much last year, so I think nobody's really taking him outside of the Chargers organization very seriously, maybe.
Right.
So I think he can be a surprise next year, and I think he might be one of those underrated players that comes out to play really good.
Good call.
We'll see what happens, but great question, Zach. We move on now to shamelessly positive Ryan. Hey, you've got a question that goes something like this. A win is always nice, but what would be a chef's kiss in the game versus New England? For me, holding Hunter Henry catchless would be it. Thoughts? That's the Chicago way. That's such a bad Sean Connery. I'm so sorry, folks. I need to work on my Sean Connery, but
dude, you saying on this episode you can do no wrong.
I can do plenty wrong.
No, it's not true.
They are not afraid to let me know about it. But holding Hunter Henry catchless would be pretty impressive. I mean, holding New England pointless would be That would be the chef's kiss, I think.
Shutout. Yeah. I think our special teams outproducing their special teams would be the best, like, just cherry on top, because that's what that team does so well, so much, is their special teams is always perfect. And ours sucks so bad. They had I think they had 2 returns on us last year when we played them for touchdowns.
A block. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had a punt return for a touchdown or something.
Yeah.
And so to have a couple, just to be better than them in special teams and obviously win, that would be a nice little twist to the sword.
A nice little how do you do?
Nice little how do you do?
There's so many bad things I want to do to that Patriots team. I can't name just one.
Good Lord.
I mean, holding Hunter Henry catchless. I
don't have the Hunter Henry thing.
I'm not hating on him, really. You know,
I have a hard time. Obviously we wanted him to stay with the Charger organization. That's the big thing. And for him to go chase bigger money, at that point, it's a business for him, and that's understandable. Honestly, like he turned it around for me when he said that he was changing his number to number 85 in honor of Antonio Gates.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet
It humanized
gesture.
him again.
Exactly.
Yeah. It made him not just a loser.
Exactly.
He's a human
Made him not
being
just
again.
a Patriot.
So I think if we were to hold him catchless, fine. I mean,
it's a kiss,
okay.
but is it the shift's
The
keys?
shift's keys, I think, is going to be to do that shutout. Like, if they're going to shut us out this last
they shut
year,
us bad.
we got to shut them out
Give
this
you
year.
a fucking goose egg, you stupid asshole.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you, shamelessly positive Ryan. We move on now to Terrell Cooper.
Yep, this is our first one, too.
This is a new name for us. He has a question. It goes something like this.
Hello, Charger Chats. I'd like to play a game. Your Chargers team has been fortunate in facing only one tough division rival as of late. It seems like things won't be so easy going forward. Both Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson are rumored to be a prime choice for the Denver Broncos. You must choose one QB to face this upcoming season. Is it last year's MVP or the NFL's passing leader who is still in his prime? The choice is yours. Okay, love you, bye.
And then he wants me to do the jigsaw laugh. I can't do the jigsaw laugh. I don't think any human can do the jigsaw laugh. It's that like, no, that's not the jig. It's that like, like
that was good. That was solid.
That was not. No, you shut your mouth.
This is a fun question. Like,
This
who
is
out of those two,
interesting
who would you rather
hypothetical,
go to the Donkeys? Like, good question.
Oh man, so who would you rather beat when we beat them?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron
And
Rodgers.
who is it harder to lose to when you lose, if you lose to them?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
It's the
Both.
same. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like,
but the thing is, what's interesting is that if that person is in our division, he's also playing the other teams.
Right.
So it
And
kind of
beating them.
it pulls everything back.
Potentially.
KC doesn't get to dominate the Broncos every time they play them. It's a kind of leveling out factor. And are we good? Are we the cream that's going to rise? I think that's more of an interesting scenario than Deshaun Watson, who knows if he'll even play with all.
And
his
at least
legal
Aaron
problems.
Rodgers is on a shorter term deal. The guy is like 40 years old, you know, so at least that's a shorter term, have to deal with him type of a situation.
but that would be during the term that we're trying to get Justin Herbert to get to the Super Bowl too.
This is a shitty scenario. I
Right,
hope
this is
none of
lose-lose.
this happens. But
Yeah.
I'm going to say Aaron, I think.
I would say Aaron too. I think the amount of drama surrounding him right now. I mean, Deshaun's also got drama, but his is more of a litigious drama.
Yeah.
Aaron is more of a drama. So I think if anything, maybe tear that Denver team apart from the inside.
Oh,
and-
throw him in there like a little drama bomb.
Yeah, like pull the grenade, throw it in there. Let's see.
Let
if
me
they
pull
can-
this drama grenade, drama
Exactly.
bomb.
Coming in hot. Watch out.
All right, so we're all on board for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron
I
Rodgers.
can't believe we're saying that. MVP of the league is who we'd rather play.
That's fine. I'm all for it.
Crazy.
That's fine. Okay, whatever. Moving on.
All right. Thank you.
Good. That's a hard question. Yeah, thank
That's
you.
a good hypothetical.
Good
Thank you.
question.
Thank you, Terrell Cooper.
Yeah,
we move on
scary.
to Supercharger, who asked the question.
I've heard some rumors out there about bringing in Todd Gurley. What's your take on that? My thoughts are that takes away from Joshua Kelly, Justin Jackson, and now Roundtree. I heart you guys and stay safe.
Well, thank you, Supercharger. We
Thanks,
heart you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it makes no. That would make
I
no
don't want
sense.
this.
I would
at
not
all.
understand.
I don't want anything to do with this. I watched him play for the Falcons because I had him on like somehow he got into one of my flex positions on one of my fantasy teams, and it wasn't fun watching him play. He doesn't
why?
have.
Because you picked up Christian McCaffrey in every single league first
and then
overall.
He blew it. I don't know what to say. Like,
blew it.
He came back for like 2 games and had like 25 points. So still technically he's better than a lot of the fantasy running backs out there. So suck on that. But I don't want anything to do with Todd Gurley. Zero.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. If we're not going to agree Julio Jones, don't do this.
And I just associate him with our former running back that was drafted the same year. You know who I'm talking about?
Right. The salty
Melvin.
tears seasoning.
Melvin. We're talking about Melvin here, guys. And I just associate them too closely. I don't want to see him, think of him. I just don't want anything to do with that.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I want to stick with the underdog that is Austin Eckler, who came into this league and performed amazingly enough to get himself a brand new stinking contract. So
I prefer running backs without arthritis. We'll put it that way.
Excellent. Thank you, Supercharger. And we move on now to Dave, aka DTS Koblar, who asked the question: should we go after Zach Ertz, another veteran tight end a la the Patriots? I think it would be our offensive OP. We have the cap space. Doesn't Justin deserve it?
I don't know. Like he is one of the bigger like free agency names, so it's fun in that respect. But I think we're pretty well set. And we were talking about it earlier. Justin throws some bombs. I'd rather get him some more bomb potential than intermediate, tight end route potential. So I don't know.
That he's not cheap. Zach Ertz is not going to come cheap.
We got Cook. Remember when we got Cook? It was like Cook, Ertz. We were kind of like he was in that conversation, but that conversation's kind of gone.
Right.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't see this happening. Like I said, I think that Julio potential was there for a big splash move for a veteran that could be a big impact on the team. We didn't take it. So I don't see us being in a position where we're going to go out and make something like this happen and drop big money.
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
Yeah. I don't see it happening either. And nor do I really want it to happen, but if it happens, it happens. I just, based on prior experience with the Chargers and the front office and their willingness to spend money on certain players, this one just doesn't feel like the biggest need. And yeah, it's another big target for Justin, but I think Justin makes everybody a big target. So there you go.
We'll put.
Yeah. But thank you for asking the question, Dave. We appreciate it. We move on to Troy Underwood, who asked the question.
This is new too. I just want to point out every time there's somebody new that I don't recognize, I'm going to point it out.
Kevin's got to point it out. He's pointing it out.
You out.
He's pointing at you, Troy. Here we go.
Period.
Did the Chargers do enough to improve their pass rush?
So saucy.
So sassy.
I think what the Chargers did to improve their pass rush the most is bring in a new defense. I think our coordinator and our scheme alone is going to create a different level of pass rush. We brought in a couple guys. Kyler Fackrell, we drafted a guy that should be able to come off the edge a little bit and hopefully develop as the year goes. Uchenna hopefully steps up.
Right.
We didn't make a splash, but I think we did enough with the combination of those guys that we added, guys stepping up, and our new scheme that I think the pass rush will be better than it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, one-on-one, just straight one-on-one matchups, or Joey having to beat double teams all the time. Like, you're going to mix it up and make it harder to, like you said, in your coach's corner, it's going to be harder to see where it's coming from and what's happening.
Big time. It's going to be exciting, Troy. Get ready for it. But thank you. Hold on to your butts. Thank you for asking the question. We move on now to Chef Mark, who asked the question.
I got to point him out. This is new too.
Hey.
Who is an undrafted free agent you expect to become our yearly rising star?
Well, I mean, we've got quite a few. We've kind of talked. Okie Doggy brought up Daddy Longleg Alex Kessman as possible rising star at least for the kicking team. Forrest Merrill is also another name that's kind of popped up here and there as far as being another big guy. Our defensive line is probably the one area that we really didn't do much to this offseason.
On this awesome list you have, there's one that stands out to me because it's close to my heart. It's long snappers, because I was a long snapper in Top Warner in high school. So with this question, I'm going to go with Ryan Langan from Georgia Southern.
Okay.
So,
yeah. That's what's crazy about these undrafted guys, like Austin Eckler. You didn't know who was going to
Never know. We'll find out by like the third preseason game.
Yeah.
Who.
I don't know. Yeah, it'll be fun to watch in the preseason. We have only 3 games, so hopefully by that second one we find out who's who.
Right, and there's also tight end Hunter Kampmoyer who came from Oregon, so he's got a little bit of that relationship with Justin that could potentially blossom here this next
Hunter
offseason.
Replacement. You got to have a Hunter tight end, I guess.
There can be only one Hunter. All right, so we'll see. Yeah, these are all gambles, but thank you for asking the question, Chef Mark. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Chef.
Moving on now to Fluff's Banker 611 and X Carnage X TTV. You guys asked pretty much the same question, and it goes something like this. With the addition of a 17th game, which single-season franchise record do you think is the first to fall, and which will be the longest standing? Hey, gotta get me some picnic baskets. I think this is an interesting question. Like,
it is, yeah. The rookie ones that Justin set last year, I don't think are going to get beat.
Well, and he did that in 15, so this is all
but even
moot.
so, give people 17. I still don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to break it.
No.
I think snaps played in a season will be the first one to go. I guess.
What
there you go.
Good answer.
Good
you
answer.
Found the loophole on that one.
Because like LT record touchdowns aren't going to go. Rushing records, I don't know. Like maybe a Jaybert takes down one of the passing yardage ones, but snaps played, I think is going to be the first one to go, guys.
He's calling it now. All right, hot take.
that was a hot take.
Yeah,
that was good.
I don't think we can take it any further than that.
It's too funny and too practical. I don't know. There's nothing to riff on that. That was too perfect.
So thank you, Fluff's Banker 611 and X Carnage X. We appreciate it.
Got to point out Fluffs. It's new.
Yeah, Fluffs is in.
This is a new episode.
There's some new ones, and I think we got another new one here. This is from Motor Breath 43.
Yes.
Who asked the question. After the Chargers inevitably win their first Super Bowl in the next few years, how do you, we, us, as long as suffering diehard fans of 10 to 15 or 20 years or more variety reconcile with the bandwagon and new LA fans sharing in their reflected glory despite having not earned it? I knew this is probably a common occurrence across professional sports and fandom at large, but I fear I won't know how to process it when our time comes. K, love you. Bye. All righty then. So you might be saying to yourself, that was a terrible Ace Ventura. You'd be right to say that because he asked for Ace Ventura on Quaaludes. That was my interpretation. So
no, but then he said Ace Ventura on Quaaludes.
I don't know. Good luck.
Good luck.
I don't know. Fuck it. Just Ace Ventura on Quaaludes.
I love it. That's our show. That should be our tagline. I don't know. Good luck.
Good luck. This is a good question though. Here's all you could say. I want as many fans as possible because it makes it more fun for us when we get there.
Exactly.
And here's the one thing that's difference between anyone that's a newer fan versus somebody that's been a fan for a longer time. It's that much sweeter when you have to wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like when we win a Super Bowl, I've waited my entire life. I've been a fan since I was born. That's I was born and raised in San Diego. My dad was a Charger fan, so I became a Charger fan. And so when that finally happens, the experience I'm going to have is going to be different. Not better or worse, whatever it might be, but it's going to be much different than somebody that has been a fan for 2 years.
Right.
There's a certain amount of blood and sweat equity that you've put into this relationship.
Don't forget the tears.
That you've put into it that you're going to get to reap the benefits of it. So I don't think there's hey, you've only been a fan for this long, so you can't.
Don't take that mentality.
No, everyone come, let's go do this. You guys can have fun together, but I promise that my experience is going to be a lot different than somebody that's been a fan for a couple of years.
Just do us a favor. Don't come on. If you just started this year, last year, don't come on and we win a Super Bowl and be like, well, it's like that button. That was easy. It's not easy.
It's
never been easy. This is the first time we're having it since 30 years that I've been a fan.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Yeah. either way, you're going to be surrounded. If you're with fans, whether they're long term or new, like you're surrounded by happy people. We're all going to, we're going to have a great time, man. Hey, it's like Rodney Dangerfield, like, hey, we're all going to get laid. Like, it's just going to be a good time. So just,
and when I see, when you're in, like, if we're, wherever you're at, when you see those guys that have been fans a long time, you're going to see it on their face, the difference.
You're
like
going to make the eye
it's almost
contact.
like
you're going to know.
Like a relief thing. Like, oh God, we finally did it.
Finally.
Yeah.
So there you go. So just have fun, Motor Breath. It's going to be a good time.
We're right there with you, Motor Breath. We're right there with you.
Let's get it.
The long-suffering Charger fans that feel optimism and hope and really are hoping Herbert's going to take us to the promised land.
Yes, it's going to happen. So let's move on now to our final question. It's Schick Soto who asked the question.
One of my favorite Phillip Rivers moments was him talking shit to Jay Cutler from the sideline. If or when Herbert has his own Rivers trash talk from the sideline moment, which QB do you wish he talks major shit to? By the way, f the Raiders. I love you, boy. That was my Jason Statham.
I don't think he has it in him. He doesn't seem like the guy that would trash talk, but let's play this game.
Yeah. I think
let's play this game. Who would you like him to talk shit to the most? It's got
an AFC West. Drew Lock.
Got to be it's AFC West if you're gonna do it because you play
got to
him
be
twice
Drew
a
Lock,
week.
dude.
Who knows if Drew Lock is even going to be here? And like, he's got Teddy Bridgewater.
Quarterbacks as of right now.
You've got Teddy Bridgewater at Denver right now.
I don't want him to talk shit to Teddy Bridgewater.
It's so, like a nice guy. Why can't he talk shit to the backup? That's fun. Like, look, you're not playing. You're not playing.
Yeah, Drew Lock.
If Justin Herbert's going to trash talk, it's not going to be
gives
that
him like
immature.
the gun thing, shoots him and puts his thing, whatever stupid dance was.
Enjoy the bench, papa.
Pew 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 pew.
No.
All right, Adam. What's your answer then?
Yeah, high and mighty.
High and mighty.
It would have to be Patrick Mahomes. Like you got to talk trash to. What do you mean? No, that guy.
No, that's not. It just doesn't seem like that kind of guy. He's like we're gonna go down to the Whataburger after the game kind of guy. You know, like he talks shit to that guy. That's not fun.
That's not fun. He's not gonna chirp back. He sounds like a
you know what, Justin, you did a great job today. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that kind of shit talking guy.
Drew Lock just says
Tom Brady. That'd be cool if he talked crap to Tom Brady.
If they ever see each other
coming
again.
out now. Tom's coming out now talking
He's never gonna do it though. It's just not him, dude. It's so
not
cool.
in him, no.
But I had this
did.
thought. A quick question. Phillip Rivers was always talking shit. Was it making those guys play harder to try and up Phillip Rivers? And conversely, Justin being quiet and calm and just going out there and kicking ass and not giving any extra fuel to the fire, will that change the dynamic of how defensive players play against that quarterback? I'm curious.
Yeah, well, it's like Andrew Luck. Remember, he used to get like sacked and he'd be like, "Oh, good hit, man," and
Great
he'd
hit.
be all pissed off that he wasn't like hurt.
It sucks. That guy sucks. He thanked me for hitting him.
But then again, like anytime you play Tom Brady, you're going to give your absolute 100 best performance.
Right.
But you don't
And he
need
still
the
wins
extra
Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl.
But you don't when you're it's an emotional game. You don't need that extra boost. You know what I mean? So I'm just curious. It's not that Phil did anything wrong.
There's no there's no way to find out though.
There's no way to find out.
So
yeah, good
Well, there you
question
go.
though. I love that question.
Yeah. It's a fun concept. I don't think Justin Herbert has it in him, at least yet. I mean, maybe something will happen further down the line to change his personality. I don't see it happening. If it would have, if that were to happen, I think it would have happened by now after having as great of a season as he has had. But he still continues to be humble, continues to be well-spoken and mature about the whole situation.
Final answer, Drew Lock as the backup on the bench. He's talking shit to him.
Still talking shit. Final answer.
All
Sorry,
right,
Adam.
That's fine. All right. Well, that's it for us here at Charger Chat, and that's it for Ask Boltfam. Folks, thank you so much for showing up to another episode. We love having you here. We'll see you again this Friday for our next Friday episode. But until then, folks, don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you, boy. And now, a word from our sponsors.
You like suits? You like new suits? Well, tough shit. We don't got those here. We just tailor suits that already exist. That's it. At Huggin Duggin's Tailoring Shop, we tailor the suit for you. You want us to take it in? We can do that. You want us to take it out? We can do that. You want a new suit? What'd I just say? Huggin Duggin's Tailoring Shop. Take it in, take it out, or get the fuck out.